Hey guys, this is Jake from Classtalk, and this is a short introduction video about what Classtalk is all about. Alright, we are an online English teaching company that teaches to real classrooms throughout China. Alright, and in this video, we're going to talk about how we do this. We're going to talk about why we do it this way. Right? China is very big. We cannot have a teacher in every classroom, so the online teaching world is coming to the classroom now. And we're going to talk about what teachers should avoid doing and avoid saying, right? Different culture in China, so we will go over that. And we're also going to talk about what you're expected to do and what you can expect from the schools. Hope you enjoy.
Here at Classtalk, we place teachers with schools, not training centers, which means that your class sizes will be much larger than you may be used to, both in classrooms in America and online. There will be at least 45, if not 60 students in all your classes, which means you must take a very different teaching approach than you may be used to. Additionally, the schools expect teachers to stay with them for the whole semester, so that over time and every week, you can build rapport and you can build some familiarity with your students. The students will be much more comfortable with the same teacher every week than with a different teacher every time. So we hope that you can maintain the same availability every week and every day, so we can assist schools with this.
Like has been said, Classtalk doesn't put teachers in training centers. Classtalk puts teachers in the Chinese public and private schools. And the schools we work with equip one of their classrooms with two big flat screen TVs. One of them is going to be showing you, and on the other one, the students are going to see the slideshow, the PowerPoint slideshow like the one you're seeing here. Another thing, the classrooms are equipped with a camera so that you would see your students, and microphones. Sometimes it's a ceiling-mounted microphone system. Sometimes your students are going to be passing the microphone from hand to hand. Another thing, most of the times the students will sit at the same desk on the same place every class. And you're going to be given a name list so that if a student stands up, you might even guess their name from the name map. Another thing, since you're not in the classroom physically, it is very important for you to be active with your body language. Because if you're passive, the students are going to feel bored and they're not going to like your class.
Now I'd like to give you some more hints and information about classes at Classtalk. All classes are 40 minutes long, and the odd one is 45 minutes, so this may be a bit shorter than you're used to. Teachers are also strongly advised to be standing while teaching, just like I am now. This is so that as you teach, you can walk around a bit, and you can change the way you're looking at students and the way students look at you. This is because of the two-screen system. It feels more like a real teacher if you're able to move around than if you're just sitting there looking at them. Additionally, most teachers use a whiteboard when they teach. This is so that you can make notes, you can write down vocabulary, you can give them sentence structures, and it also helps feel more like a real classroom when the teacher is able to write down notes. Some teachers also use a digital whiteboard using various computer programs. That can be an option if you don't have access to a whiteboard. Additionally, most teachers use a headset when they teach, something like this. This improves the audio quality greatly, both for you and the students. One thing we aim for when we teach is for student talk time to be at least half the class. This is to prevent the class feeling like a lecture. We want the students to feel like the class is a welcoming and safe place where they can practice speaking the language, which may be new to them. They may feel not very confident to speak English, and so we want our classes to be a place where they can do this. And to accomplish this, it's very important that the teachers are very active, they're engaged in class, they get a good back and forth with the students and the teacher to encourage the students to speak as much as possible.
As you know, in German, French, Spanish, and some other languages too, people all use the Latin alphabet. The problem is that they all have different pronunciation rules. And this is a list of the most common issues you might face with the Chinese students. Let's go through the consonants first. You might hear a Chinese kid trying to say sport or star instead of sport and star. And this is why. In the Chinese language, this is D and this is T. This is B and this is H. This is G and this is K. So you might need to know where this comes from in order to be able to handle this properly. This is another one, bull and burr. Sometimes they would say brack instead of black. And instead of milk, a pretty similar word, they would try to say mirk or even milk. So L and R also cause a lot of confusion. Vowel blends. They might not tell apart bad, bad, and bid. You might need to be more clear when you say bad, bad, or bid. Some other words like red, they might say ride. Sometimes after a British teacher, they might also be confused how to properly pronounce these vowels. Another one is very funny. They will try to pronounce eng, ong, other ngs, and sometimes the words that end with n in a Chinese manner. So the word like penguin might sound like penguin when they say it. And this is funny because they do learn the English letters from the kindergarten actually. The problem is that they use the English letters to type in the Chinese characters. So like I said, they have different pronunciation rules, and this will cause confusion. You need to know how to handle this properly, and so this is for your instance.
So, next I would like to tell you some common mistakes and grammar problems that Chinese students have. Because the Chinese language has a completely different structure than English, it excludes the necessity for spoken differentiation of plurals as well as gender. The most common mistake you'll see from new English speakers is he and she confusion, because these words are actually pronounced the same in Chinese. You will also see confusion between him and her, or his and her. Additionally, plurals. Chinese nouns don't have plurals, so you have one apple or two apple or three apple. So you'll see that with all kinds of sentences from Chinese English speakers. And additionally, tenses are often misused because there's no past tense versions of verbs the same way there is in English. So you'll often hear people say, yesterday I go to school, or last week I eat breakfast.
All right, now we'll go over a few common teacher mistakes. Now, in China, saving face is everything. Students hate to be embarrassed, and we don't want to do this to students. So, obviously, we have to correct students if they make a mistake. So one way we can do this is just by being overly friendly, right? So if a student makes a mistake, we might correct them, but we might say, thank you for bringing up that answer. Thank you for making that mistake, because this is a mistake that the whole class has been making, and now I can correct it. We want them to feel like they're part of the group. We never want to single out a student, okay? Some other things are, we never want to raise political topics, okay? The 3 T's, Taiwan, Tibet, Tiananmen Square, cannot mention these things, okay? We will lose customers if we talk about this. Same with Hong Kong, same with the trade war. These things are off limits, okay? Same with LBGT. And any sensitive topics we can't talk about. This is a much different culture than you're used to in the States. Same with boyfriends and girlfriends. They are not allowed to have boyfriends and girlfriends until after high school. So please stay away from this topic. That being said, you can talk about your personal life a little bit, as long as you keep it appropriate. They do want to hear about your families. They want to hear about your girlfriend. They want to hear about your boyfriend. They want to hear about your dog. They want to hear about your cat. Okay, so these are all good things to kind of personalize the class. But if you think a topic could be sensitive, probably best to just stay away from it.